Only here on the WHAS 11 night team tonight. Louisville's gun violence is the worst it's ever been, with shootings up 90% compared to last year. That's the deadliest year on record. Experts who examine the evidence behind each case say there's one agency that does have the power to put a stop to the violence. That agency is the ATF. But the ATF is up against the challenges of their very own. And tonight, Shay McAllister is taking us inside the Louisville Bureau. She's sitting down one-on-one with the special agent in charge to find out how he's changing daily operations to push our city forward.
In every corner of this city, at all hours of the day and night, Louisville ATF agents are scoping out the streets, waiting for the call, watching for indicators that would allow them to intervene in time.
We have to be smart. We have limited resources. We have limited number of special agents, and we want to make sure that they're deployed on the most impactful cases.
Special Agent in Charge Sean Morrow took over in May of 2020 as the violence was ramping up. He says he made changes to the agency's priorities right away.
Any other focuses took a back seat to violent crime.
That meant embedding agents in Louisville's largest police force.
I assigned special agents to work hand in hand with LMPD's homicide unit,
presenting immediate access to the city's most heinous crimes.
I'm extremely concerned. I'm concerned of the trends that we saw in 2020. I'm concerned about the trends we've seen in the first quarter of this year. Those numbers are unacceptable.
And it wasn't just an uptick in violence the agents were up against. COVID created new challenges, and protests pulled from resources.
For every special agent that's protecting that situation, or for every police officer that's detailed for a large gathering, that's less police officers and less agents in our community. That certainly has an impact.
Experts say when it comes to curbing the dangerous trends, the federal agency is understaffed.
The ATF is greatly under-resourced for the magnitude of the gun violence problem across the nation.
President Biden recently announced his plan to pour more money into the agency, suggesting a 5% bump in the ATF's overall budget. But is 5% enough? A quick check of the numbers shows shootings are up more than 250% in Louisville in the last 2 years. The number of ATF special agents nationwide is up 1.5% in the same time period. Meaning, in Louisville's ATF office, the number of agents facing the nearly tripled workload is essentially the same.
Cities really desperately need the help of federal government and state government. They need resources more than ever.
Dr. Daniel Webster, who studies the science behind violent crime and the agencies fighting against it, says he's seen the effects of the staffing shortage and compromised work from the federal agency. Agents choosing cases that will bring quick results instead of working more meaningful investigations.
Arresting a felon in possession with a gun usually does not take a lot of great investigative technique or capability. If you look at gun trafficking cases, those cases are far more complex, require a lot more investigative time and technique and cooperation.
But in Louisville's division, the special agent in charge says not so.
I don't care about statistics or numbers. What I care about is impact and quality of cases, and to make sure that we're taking the most violent offenders off the street and making Louisville safer.
He says the critique is fair for his industry, but not the truth in our city, where he has shifted the focus from people possessing illegal firearms to people ready to pull the trigger.
It's important that we're focusing on individuals that are committing violent crime now and the individuals that are intending to commit violent crime tomorrow, and that's where we're deploying our resources.
He's also being strategic, relying on crime gun intelligence and utilizing science and technology to guide their investigations more than they ever have before.
Our goal is to disrupt the shooting cycle.
Using modern technology, a recovered casing can be analyzed and linked to a specific weapon.
This is where those efforts start, inside the workspace for NIBIN, the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network.
It sort of acts like fingerprints for firearms evidence. It links crime scenes. It can help us to identify suspects and tie crime scenes together.
NIBIN is known for speeding up investigations and identifying patterns, helping special agents fulfill the mission experts say only they have the power to do.
What Metropolitan Police Department cannot do as ATF can do is actually investigate the trafficking, investigating who is supplying the guns being used to kill people in Louisville.
And for the leader of Louisville's ATF, stopping the killing is the bottom line.
I think it's outrageous that we have seen the number of shootings that we have.
Leadership here at the Louisville ATF division say they desperately need more help, and they're hiring, looking for specialized officers to work as special agents out in the field and industry operations investigators to help regulate the firearm industry. For Focus, I'm Shay McAllister.